My name is Joan Berenbaum.
Oh, easy question. My name is Karen Foyer.
My name is Robert Shearer.
Shirley Roth is my name.
My name is May True Half Dolly.
My name is Andrew Korn.
Kara Krause.
My name is David Adelson.
Cantor Shira Ginsburg.
This hope, this birth, this life, this new creation, these words,
the temple and being a member here was Leonard's idea more than it was mine, because I came from Rodef Sholem in New York, and that is where I wanted to stay. But Leonard always said, no, you must support a congregation in where you're living. So we did.
We were looking for a temple that would be accepting and welcoming for interfaith families. My husband wasn't Jewish at the time.
When I met Shirley, she was not kosher. She introduced me to non-kosher stuff.
Uh-oh, I get blamed for everything.
We'd heard good things about East End, most specifically about Rabbi David.
This was a good match from the beginning. I'm glad they felt that way. I definitely felt that way.
Well, really, East End Temple and I chose each other over a horrible VHS tape that was made in Israel when I was a first-year cantorial student back in 1994.
But it feels like we've been here forever. It's a very homey place.
I had friends that were here, and so it was pretty much word of mouth.
All the kids were really nice, and everyone was laughing all the time, and it was so much fun. And yeah, I was like, I love this.
Eventually, I kind of fell in love with the place.
The service that we attended when my husband decided to convert. It was one night, the weather was very bad, and there were very few people at services that Friday night. And we used to do Hagbah and Galila every single Friday night, and it was always the Torah was always carried by a strong man. And that night, the only strong man who was there was my husband, and up until that time, they had never let a non-Jew carry the Torah. And he carried the Torah that night through the temple, and he was so moved by that experience that he decided to convert.
Probably my bat mitzvah. It was just, I learned so much about everything, about myself, about my family, about being Jewish, and it really did feel like a coming-of-age moment. It was one of the most meaningful days of my life and one of the best days of my life, and it couldn't have happened anywhere but here.
When I switched over from being student cantor to the official cantor of East End Temple, the students of the East End Temple Religious School made me this wonderful book, and every picture that they drew of me had giant yellow hair and like a huge superhuman belt buckle on. And I just loved that moment so much when I looked through that with all those kids. It made me feel like they actually really know me quite well.
So I came out for Grandma's 90th birthday, which is almost 4.5 years ago. And I remember she got up and talked about being 90, and I think my grandpa had died the year before, and I don't remember what she said, but I remember it was like wise and beautiful, and I feel like I learned something about my grandma. And it was nice, like the community was very supportive, and she just kind of said her piece and smiled. And
our first celebration that we made was made in East End Temple. Remember, they allowed us to have a celebration, and on
our 50th wedding anniversary, But I think what was even, for me, was more memorable when we had that 60th anniversary, and it coincided with World War II, and they had a whole exhibit of the veterans of World War II, and Irv who was a photographer in the war in the Air Force, had presented all kinds of pictures, and they made a triptych of all the pictures, and it was the day of Irv's birthday. I think it was his 90th birthday.
A group of us who'd been working together on community building with the Schma project had heard of a friend here at East End who had lost his mother, and we went together to make a Shiva call. And it was something about the way we came together in short notice and made an effort to disrupt our schedules and do something that was important, felt important in honoring the friendship and honoring the loss. And it had to do with the bonds that we had formed here at the temple.
Something in the longevity that I've amazingly now achieved connects a lot of moments together. I'm here 13 years now. It means that I'm now officiating at the bar and bat mitzvah of kids who I knew as babies, some of them. Really, the ones who are here from that long, getting to be with those kids over that length of time, and families and people over that length of time, has come to mean something special, has been a new layer for experiencing myself in this work.
Working with 8 and 9-year-olds, making sandwiches for Food for Families, and seeing the kids really get into it and how they work together as a team, and really in a very multi-generational group. And this is one of those events where it is cause and effect. You go in for a few hours, you make sandwiches, boom, people get fed. And I think it's something really good, not only for the community, but it shows the children that they can really have an effect on the community.
The day we were able to hire, our cantor, Shira Ginsburg, as our full-time cantor. The day we could offer her the job. She just, she fit the congregation just so well.
My goal was always to get a building. And it wasn't mine alone, it was everybody's goal at the time. And so the moment when we left our second home, which was 23rd Street and 2nd Avenue, and moved to temporary quarters at 1st Avenue and 24th Street. And we took the tourists. It's very emotional for me. And we took the tourists out of the ark here and brought them to the temporary space. So we left the old and started on a journey for the new. And that was a very, very meaningful time for me.
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question, because everybody here inspires me.
His name was Saul Wiener, and I found him to be inspirational. He was so open to, the whole process of looking for a new rabbi. And he was part of the group that actually chose with myself Rabbi Adelson. So the fact that he was significantly older, I think he was almost in his 90s, talking about, diversity in sexual orientation. We had interviewed a rabbi who was a lesbian, and just the way in which he was approaching the whole process, I found to be inspired me to always keep an open mind.
The person who has inspired me most at East End Temple is Ron Orland. Ron is this quiet, wonderful man who is here all the time, tirelessly making everything work from a technology standpoint, and audio, video, filming for people, streaming for people who can't come here so they can see it at home, capturing memories for dozens, if not hundreds of families. And he does it all without a complaint, and he is the one who definitely inspires me most.
Fran and Bobby Colin, who are so committed and so dedicated in so many ways, and over the years I've run into them stuffing envelopes, fixing the elevator, painting ceilings, just schlepping back and forth. They truly are wonderful models of what it means to be invested in a community and in synagogue life.
Talking about him, I keep talking about spiritualism, about his kindness, about his welcoming, and of all the rabbis we've had, he is the one that I think is most impressive.
Who is?
Rabbi David. He doesn't hear me.
Rabbi Soloff was pretty good too.
Rabbi David and Shira, both of them, just because like they're both so incredible and they're so smart and they have so much depth and they're so intellectual, and they've both really changed my personal definition of what it means to be Jewish.
It's the 3 rabbinic interns that I've worked with here. First Kim Herzog-Cohen, and then Sarah Luria, and most recently Bethy Miller. And it's got to do with their dedication to the temple, but not only that, but then all of the support that goes into allowing them to work with the temple and work with us here, specifically in community building recently. And it's that anytime you think about one person is doing, so often there's so many people behind them who've got their back, who are helping them think through issues, and helping them reach out to people.
They had the B'nai Mitzvah class, like did their class last week, and I think like people like that, or the people that come who are the Jews by choice, who have gone through the conversion process, whenever I see those people, I'm always very inspired. Because me, I grew up and my parents said you're Jewish, and I went to services, and so it's almost like just by rote that I do it. But it's always impressive to me that people can make a decision, a choice, then they study and prepare, and then come in front of their community and say, here I am. I want to be a part of you, and everyone accepts them into the community. And that's whenever that happens, and I'm a part of services, I'm always like, I'm in awe every time.
The person who inspired me most was Helene Spring, because she brought me into a leadership role in this temple. She asked me to join the board, and then she asked me to be the co-chair with her wonderful husband, Leonard, who we miss so much, to co-chair the Rabbinical Search Committee, where we found David, which was a wonderful, wonderful choice that we made. And as a result of her encouraging me to take this role, I really feel that I've had an even better experience with this temple in helping to shape it and to make it grow.
I made a decision that this work calls to me to help build Jewish community and be with Jews and be with people in connecting over important things in our lives. But the members of the community who work a lot of hours and invest a lot of creativity, a lot of time, money, themselves invest their lives in this place growing and being well, always inspires me, because they don't have to be doing this. It's a real testament to the fact that something is going on here that's real, that people are feeling, that the community they experience, the being a part of something larger that's meaningful, must really be going on.
This hope, this hope.
I don't know, because it's so great right now that I don't even know how it could get better.
Well, I would like to see East Temple in 65 years, another 65 years, to be the same loving and spiritual and warm place that it is today.
Have this welcoming, open Jewish community where people, because New York's a crazy place, and that people can come together and say, we have our community.
Endlessly sustainable, endlessly warm and inviting, continuing to be a caring community and a very connected community.
Lidor vador nagid God lecha. From generation to generation, may East End Temple recognize all those who have come before us and what they have provided us with, this beautiful community, and may it be incumbent upon all of us to invest ourselves in making this community ever stronger, ever more beautiful, ever more wonderful, warm, and welcoming.
And to grow and grow and grow. And not have any more deficits if we can manage that.
Amazing, bonded and friendly and diverse community that it is now.
Be creative, push beyond boundaries that we find, reinvent ourselves, be what we need to be to have relevant Jewish life, to have meaningful Jewish life and Jewish community in every moment.
To keep its soul and to maintain the sense of community. There is a constant push-pull between needing to grow and keep up with the times and not lose the essence of the synagogue. And one of the things working for us is the physical size of the building, where there is only so many families that can be here, and I think that really works for us.
I think that what's happening now at the temple is that it's becoming run by mostly the women there, and they're very, very intense about doing it. The men have sort of drifted away, and the women are doing a good job of organizing and running things. And I think that we're now getting into the world where the women will be taking over.
I wish everyone could see what a wonderful place this is. At the same time, I like that we're not a huge synagogue. I like that it's small and everyone knows everyone and everyone knows everyone's family and what everyone else is doing with their career or whatever. And I love that, you know, we're all familiar with each other. So I don't know.
So I would wish all of that to just continue to push forward into the future and for each new generation of members to carry forward those original values.
My blessing is that this may be the same warm and welcoming and down-to-earth place that does such a great job of welcoming the stranger, but really pushes itself to do it in a new way, uncover new things about ourselves and about how we can be together.
So I wish it to be everything it is today, only even more deeply felt, and of course much bigger.
I'm going to read it because otherwise I'll say too much, and I don't want to do that in this film. Some of us have been together on a long journey of minds, hearts, and spirits. We are filled with hope and love at this moment, and may we, as we move forward into the future, listen to each other and remember that what has gone before, as we brought to East End Temple the best of our mindful judgment. With commitment, we can continue to strengthen us in all we do and all we hope others to do, now and in the bright future we envision today, our 65th anniversary. And may each of us always answer, Hineni, here I am.